I'm joined by Nick Williams. Nick's speciality is helping people discover the work they were meant to do. So I think the first question that I'd like to ask you, and perhaps our viewers would like to know as well, Nick, is you talk about inspired entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a basic entrepreneur and an inspired entrepreneur?
For me, an entrepreneur generally is somebody whose first focus is on the market. Like, what's hot, where can I make a buck, where's the market gap? So it's very much external focused. And I think I'm an advocate and a representative for a whole other kind of group of entrepreneurs whose primary focus to start with is what's in their heart to do, if you like, what are they passionate about, what do they feel like they want to do to make a difference in the world and make the world a bit brighter place, and what kind of talents have they got that they want to share. But they want to do that through their own business rather than being employed by anybody else. But often people like that look at the world of business and they, you know, the stereotypes that many of us grew up with would be like Gordon Gekko in Wall Street, greedy, you know, Del Boy in Only Fools and Horses, a bit dodgy, or Arthur Daly, you know, kind of lovable rogue. And we look at those role models of being entrepreneurial and go, well, if that's what an entrepreneur's about, I'm sunk, you know, because I don't want to be like that. So I think I represent a whole kind of group of people that want to do something they love, they want to make a difference, they want to do it through their own business, so they want to use business tools to be effective in what they do, but they never want to sell out on their integrity. They've always got to be true to themselves and authentic to themselves, but they don't want to play small by doing it, they want to have a big impact, but somehow they want to align their own heart with kind of great business strategies for getting out into the world.
You know, I think like you know, I'm at dinner parties, I go out and about, and you often hear people talking, you know, oh, I'm thinking about starting a new business, or I've been thinking about starting for years to do this new business. Why do you think the vast majority of people don't actually get started?
Well, several reasons. One, biggest one really is fear, I think. Most people are afraid to take that step. You know, like you probably have met hundreds of people who have brilliant business ideas in their minds, often as you say, for 10 years, 20 years. They're terrified to take that first step into actually doing it. They're afraid of failure, afraid of looking stupid, afraid of, you know, all sorts of different things. But I think deep down, actually, a lot of people are really afraid of success as well, but maybe that's the subject for another conversation, the fear of success. But I think, number one, fear, so people just don't take that first step for fear of failure or looking stupid. But also I think the big mistake many people make is they keep it as a big idea, but they never chunk it down into the first thing they could do. So I'm a great believer in chunking it down small. So think big, but act small. So chunk it down into, what's the first way that I could show up with this? And often I think that the first thing to do is to show up with it for free. Don't even get paid for it. Just show up and do something. For the experience, for the confidence, for the learning. If it works, great, you learn quickly. If it doesn't work, you learn quickly. And then the next stage would be to find your first client. And to me, you know, once you've found your first client for something, you are in business. Nobody can take that away from you. It's gone from being an idea to a reality. So I think the reason that many people don't get going is that they don't take those first baby steps.
Do you think part of that as well is that they tend to speak to their friends, their close family, and they're the people who have their sort of best interests at heart and put them off?
Yeah, you know, I talk about dream bashers. I call them the dream bashers. You know, and they're often people that do love us, they do care for us, and because they care for us, they don't want us to look stupid, they don't want us to fail, they don't want us to wander off the conventional career path. So their way of loving us is to try and keep us on the straight and narrow in their mind. But I think that's frustrating for many of us because we know that we'd like to try something out. So, you know, I think we need to spend time with the people that we love and we care for, but we also need to spend more time with people that are probably already doing something like we want to do, who are more encouraging, more supportive, who know the territory and who aren't afraid, but are usually, in my experience, very generous, who say, "Wow, that's a brilliant idea. You know, do you want some thoughts about how you could bring that idea into fruition?" So I think we also need people around us who are very encouraging of us and have practical experience about how we can bring our ideas to fruition.
Okay, so do you think that, you know, the vast majority of people have ideas, they don't bring them for some of the reasons you've just said? If people were approaching you with, you know, you're at the party and someone's coming up to you talking about the same thing, what would be your sort of first 3 steps that you might encourage them to do?
Well, obviously, number one, have the big idea. Dream big. I'm all for dreaming big. Number 2 is to kind of hone it down to, okay, what's the first thing that could look like? what's the smallest way that could become real and tangible?
Okay.
And thirdly, show up with it and do it. Try it out.
Okay, because I know I've seen another one of your videos where you talk about just showing up. Can you just expand a little bit more what you mean showing up?
Yeah, I suppose my beliefs are that everybody has got kind of unique talents. Everybody's got something to bring to life that makes the world a bit brighter. Yet most of us don't get told that at school. You know, it's like fit in, get your exam results. We don't get told that we've got something unique to bring to life.
Okay.
So I think that the world is richer for each of us that brings what it is that we have to bring to the world. But for many of us to show up, you know, I would call it more authentically and in a real way rather than a modified way or a role, that's kind of scary. It's like, what happens if we get criticised? What happens if we get put down? What happens if we feel stupid? All that stuff that goes through our head. So I'm a great believer that if you want to be fulfilled, you've got to show up. And if you show up, you're going to make a difference, and that's going to energise you. So showing up for me is just about arriving in the world authentically.
Okay.
And that can be on a one-to-one basis, that can be in front of millions of people on TV or a video. It's not about size. It's just about the willingness to show up as you are, who you are, and speak from your heart. Because I think the world is hungry, this is my belief, I think the world is hungry for authenticity. There's so many people that we don't trust, that we think are just saying the words and mouth and stuff. That when people show up authentically and speak from their heart and you know, are really honest, I think we go, oh, thank goodness somebody's speaking the truth. Somebody's being real. So for me, showing up is about being real. You know, being real in your vulnerabilities, but also being real in your strengths and your talents as well.
Excellent. Well, I'd like to, hopefully you'll all think that we're showing up, we're authentic and so on.
Yeah, this is an act of showing up.
And on that note, thank you for this short little interview here. There'll be a lot more to follow. We'll be touching on quite a few of the other things that Nick does and how he helps and supports those people that do want to start their own businesses. So thanks, Nick.